really want to focus on when we're using AI. And the two words are truth and tone. Truth being obviously always making sure that AI generated information is accurate and up to date, okay? We have to cross-reference and check things. The system only has what the system knows. Some platforms, like the free version of ChatGPT, have not been updated since 2022. Okay, so it's important that if you want the most up-to-date information, you make sure the system you're using has it. Double check facts, proofread content, and verify accuracy. Tone. Does AI output sound like you? If it's not a word you would use, don't put it in your marketing because people are going to read right through it. It's important that your personal voice and style come through. AI is a tool to enhance communication. It's not replacing your unique personality. And you'll see when we do some examples, the best part about tools like ChatGPT is that you can literally tell it, use smaller words, talk more casually, use trendy phrases, whatever you want it to do, it will output what you want, okay? This is something that goes with the truth, okay? And it's really important that we all understand that it does not matter what we see online right now. It could be totally fake, okay? So this is just a proof. Will Smith was nowhere in any of these videos. This is all AI done. Will Smith and spaghetti. How crazy is that?
Crazy.
Literally done on AI. And so I want us all to be cautious of what we're seeing and we're sharing and we're portraying, but also what you're putting into the AI systems, because guess what? We're gonna talk about in a second. If you put it in, somebody else can use it, okay? So keep that in mind. There's no privacy anymore, okay? You're putting your video out there, you're putting your content into the AI system. You need to be aware that that is open to the public now, okay? All right. Daily uses for, oh wait, did you hand out the handout?
Sorry, that was my fault.
Okay, it's okay. Daily AI uses for real estate agents. These are just things that are general uses that you can use on an everyday basis. Public remarks is probably one of the things that people use AI the most for. Quickly generate public descriptions, but make sure they align again with your voice and the style of the property. Okay, you don't really want to use words like elegant and fancy words with a basic 2-bedroom, 1-bath ranch home. You want to make sure that the style of the remarks match the style of the house.
I was gonna say, it's interesting what you said, like make it sound like you, because you can look in the MLS right now and tell the agents to just say, write a listing description
Right.
because there's very
Yeah.
similar words
Yes.
that all use. They're like, oh yeah,
The
that's
phrases
ChatGPT.
are so similar.
They're
Yep.
So similar.
Yep. And make sure they're accurate.
Right.
You can't say open floor plan if it's not an open floor plan. You
Right.
can't say spacious rooms if they're not spacious. And AI doesn't know things like that, right? So you can put a picture, you can put several pictures into AI and say, write a description about this house. You can actually even type in, write me a description about 4 Smith Circle and hit Newport News, Virginia, whatever it is, and hit enter. And it will find all the information, number of bedrooms, bathrooms, everything like that online, and it will put together something. Again, you have to edit it, okay? Paraphrasing emails, this is probably one of the things that I first started using AI for was writing emails, because I have certain points in my day where I'm really good at writing, and then the majority of my day I cannot come up with the right words. I can't figure out how to say it. I know what I want to say, but you can pop out a couple of bullet points and say, please put this in an email for me, and we're going to give some examples of that later. Use AI to make emails more concise and professional. Verify that the content and tone, again, is intact. Writing bios. This is something that Zoe has talked about a lot. It's hard to talk about ourselves, right? But you can go into the system and say, I want to do a bio video. Make me a bio script that I can say in my video, or that I can post on my website and say, you know, I graduated from this university. I've been in the business since 2004. I have this certification, whatever it is. Give it bullet points and say, write a script or write a bio for my website. Super easy. Social media captions, they do a really good job with social media. You can say anything from, give me a caption about interest rates dropping, and it will put little emojis in there. It will put trending hashtags in there, lots of really good stuff. Blogs, newsletters, and video scripts. We talked about the video scripts already, but this is another thing I use AI for a lot is my blogs. Again, I have lots of ideas, not enough time to sit down and execute them and write them out, but I can easily come up with a few paragraphs and then say, hey, can you enhance this? Can you give me examples of 10 of these things? And it will literally pop out. I can say, give me 10 things that every homeowner should do for their HVAC system in the fall. And it will literally write the entire thing. So easy.
Wow.
But again, always fact check. Condensing content. I use this all the time because when I am in my creative brain, it's like word vomit. And I have, next thing I know, there's 2,000 characters and the MLS will only allow you to put 1,000 characters. So you can put all your stuff down, pop it into ChatGPT or Gemini, which we're gonna talk about in a second, and say reduce to 1,000 characters. And it will take out the words maybe you don't need. Kristen, for the longest time, every time she proofreads something, she's like, what is it, that is not a necessary word 90% of the time. She's like, remove that, remove that.
Yeah.
So you can do that in the system and it'll take out any words that are in excess of that. Slogans and titles, we actually use this in the office quite a bit. Like, just for like catchy names of trainings like cocktails and crawl spaces and things like that. I think that was actually used from, did the people who are coming give us that?
Yeah, they gave us that one, but we do use it for other things.
Yeah.
Because we need like a.
We're like, we need a catchy phrase for something. Or if you have a client appreciation event and you're like, what can we call this? And, or if you are having a seminar for buyers and you're like, I need a trendy phrase of this. You can pop it in there and give it ideas and it will help you. This is something I learned about in VAR conference a couple weeks ago. I have not got to use the system yet. I actually tried to kind of throw something in there last night and I ran out of time. But 11 Labs, which I'll give you more information, but this is a company that will take your voice from recording, form of recording and replicate it. And it will make a voice exactly like yours. And then from that point forward, if you want to do a walkthrough reel and talk over it or whatever it is, all you have to do is type out what you want it to say and the system will pop out your voice saying what you're giving it. So there's no more like, oh shoot, I gotta re-record that. Oh shoot, I gotta re-record that. It will do it for you. Most of these systems have a free version. The better versions are always the paid version, but they're not expensive right now. I mean, we're talking a couple $100 a year. Not expensive.
There's also a website called HeyGen. We use that a lot.
Hey, what is it?
HeyGen.
Sell it?
H-E-Y.
H-E-Y, Gen, like
G-E-N. Okay.
I can't confirm, but that's what we use in our marketing classes.
Yeah. I mean, it really, it makes things so easy now. So, I'll let you know how it turns out with the one I'm doing. We got a couple different clips from different videos, but really it wants a 30-minute clip of just you speaking. So I'm gonna have to record that at some point and do it.
Right now.
Okay, oh, there we go. Okay, avoiding, oh, I missed an O there. That's weird. On all the screens.
What?
That was typing. Bias, oh wait, is that the first one? Yeah. Okay, avoiding common pitfalls. We talked about this a little bit before, but there are things that AI is not great for, and things that we really need to make sure that we're watching out for. There are bias in algorithms. There's no, it's not a human. It's not gonna say, hey, be careful that you're not using discriminatory language, or, making sure that you're representing something well. And one of the things we need to be careful about with that is fair housing compliance. AI might suggest discriminatory phrases or steering clients toward certain demographics. We have to be careful with that. It is still your responsibility to check this stuff. Always proofread AI-generated content to avoid fair housing violations. How many protected classes are there in the state of Virginia?
Nine.
Whoa,
8 or 9?
12.
12.
There are 12.
12.
What are they?
I said that.
She did.
What are they?
Race, religion, creed, sex, national origin, familial status, handicap.
There's 2 brand new ones.
Military.
Military.
And source of funds.
Source of funds.
Senior.
How many is that?
9.
Age, did you say age?
I might not say it. I said
Sexual
elderly.
orientation.
Elderly.
Yeah, we said sexual.
Gender.
Yeah.
Yep.
Was that all 12?
So,
So you need to know that,
You
right?
should discriminate
So
against
you
a
need to be
felon.
careful that what the content that's being pushed
If you
out
know.
isn't discriminating against one of those people, okay? Really important. NAR Code of Ethics. This is big. And I cited 3 different articles that correlate to this. You need to ensure that all AI-generated materials align with the NAR Code of Ethics, especially regarding accuracy, honesty, and non-discrimination. Code of Ethics number 1, serving the best interest of our clients by providing accurate information. Is it in the best interest of your clients to change the front yard to all grass if they get there and it's all mud?
No.
It is not.
No.
It sets your clients up for failure. It sets the buyers up for being disappointed the second they pull in front of the house, okay? Avoiding misleading marketing or misrepresentations on property listings. If there are power lines running through the back of a house, you cannot delete them from the photos, okay?
Right.
That would be misleading because they're gonna get there and see the power lines. Disclosure of virtual staging. If the property is virtually staged, you need to disclose that in the photos, okay? There's every single photo in the MLS has an opportunity to put remarks right under it. Just do a little asterisk and put virtually staged. Very, very simple. Changing the color of water. Just a news flash, but no water in Hampton Roads looks like Bahama water, okay? It's not blue, it's not teal, it doesn't look like that. So don't change it, okay? It's okay.
You have no idea how many times people ask me to change the color of the water.
Yeah.
It's
And,
like, I'm sorry, it's muddy.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And it's okay to color correct, right? Because if it's a cloudy day, it's gonna look a little bit different than on a sunny day. There's things like that. But the drasticness, you have to make sure that it's realistic.
What about when they do the twilight photos? Should that be disclosed?
If the property looks, yeah, that's a virtual editing. Yes, I would say yes. But you want to make sure that if they edit the sky in any way, for instance, adding a sunset to the back of a house, if the sun does not set behind that house,
Right.
you're never going to see that house look like that.
Right.
Okay? So sunset, sunrise, a twilight photo with a big, huge moon, things like that are very, very misleading. And so we just want to make sure that we're representing the house as well, okay? All right, privacy. Again, we kind of talked about that a little bit with the Will Smith video. There's no privacy in AI, okay? The information that you're going to give the system can be used by whoever, whenever, for whatever, okay? This was an example that they used in the VAR class that I thought was pretty interesting. A software company, programmers for one company put a code into ChatGPT and said, hey, we're having issues with this code, please help us debug it. They fixed the code. So that software company continued to use their code, their proprietary right to use it. Just so happened that their competitor goes into ChatGPT and says, if you were a competitor, what kind of code would you use? Guess whose code came out? Their competitors. And so it was a big lawsuit about it. And ultimately, no, they didn't win because they gave their information to the public website. So
the first people.
yeah. So just be careful. Again, it's once you give that information to a system, it's open. Okay. All information you add is accessible to anyone. Data breaches are real. Don't put your social security numbers in there. Don't put your photo of your ID. Don't do child's birth certificate. I mean, nothing. Okay. It's all open. All right, some unexpected things you can do with AI in our business. I know it's really hard for me sometimes to figure out like what to say in a personal card. Sometimes we write personal cards so often, we're like, what is another creative way to say like, hey, I'm really sorry for your loss, you know? I mean, like you can only say that so many times and you're like, man, I need some other words for that. AI can provide you a really empathetic message and you can say, give me 5 different things to say in a card where somebody lost their father. And you can pick one of the ones that sound like you and tweak it and use the words and maybe make it into your own verbiage. Code generation. We just used this in, it was with Amanda Tate on property management somewhere. We were trying to figure out in an email how to change the color, but the email was code-based. So I popped into ChatGPT and I said, how do I change this color? The system that we were using only allowed black. But it did allow me to change the code. I mean, I took an HTML class in college, but I don't remember that. So I popped it into ChatGPT and I said, give me the HTML code to change the font color to red. It popped right out and I put it back in the system and now the color is red. So very, very easy things that you can do. Language translation. This is a great opportunity if you do have somebody that speaks a different language. There are a ton of things with VAR forms that have different languages. There's Spanish, there's French, all kinds of different things. With RAIN, there's not so much. So if you have a client who is looking over a RAIN form and you want to put that into the language that is native to them, maybe they do speak English, but maybe it's a broken English. It's a very good customer service way to pop out some paragraphs, put it in there and say translate to Spanish. And you can give it to them, even if it's just words. Hey, here's some words you're gonna hear throughout the process. Give them their native language of what that actually means. Financial analysis. If you're, looking for any information about, hey, can I afford this? What do we think, the stock price is gonna do? We did a webinar yesterday and somebody said something about putting, this is a good place for that. They were putting in appraisals into their ChatGPT. Just every time they got a new appraisal, they'd upload it. And then so that helps them with pricing, right? Because then the system understands what the appraisers are doing with their pricing. And then when they ask the system to say, hey, how should I price this property based on 4 bedrooms, 3 baths in this neighborhood, whatever it is, it helps them do that. I have not toyed with that yet, but I thought it was really interesting. Creative writing, we talked a little bit about that already, but it can help you with poetry, fiction, short scripts, anything like that. This is something that Kristen used. Is it 2 years ago you did the thing for the boys with the tickets? Last year, so she took the boys to a football game and she wanted the elf on the shelf to bring the tickets to the house. So she went in ChatGPT and just tell him what you said to the
I think I
assistant.
just said, create me a creative poem from Elf on the Shelf to deliver Redskins versus
Dolphins.
Dolphins tickets to Colton and Cooper. And it popped out like this freaking amazing poem from the Elf about attending your first NFL game, and I was just like blown away.
I mean, we were like, what?
I'll send it to you guys. It was amazing.
It said their names, it said their ages, it said
their first experience.
going to the Redskins stadium on this day. I mean, it was a whole thing. It was amazing.
And it was just like, like 4 little, whatever you call them, sonnet like things,
Yeah.
and it was amazing.
Really cool. But like, think of ways that you can use that for your clients. Think about things that you can use for your client appreciation events for the kids. to make it more custom. ChatGPT can do all that for you. You really don't have to be creative. You can just tell the system what you want.
So I had a buyer that just closed in Williamsburg, and she runs like all the time, and I had ChatGPT map her out a 1, 3, 5, and 7 mile run where she doesn't have to be on a major road, and they
Mhm.
like did it.
Yeah. Yep. Research assistant, it can help you gather information, analyze data, and even identify new research directions. So you can even, research recipes. I know Carlin has used that. Hey, what can I substitute if I don't have cream of wheat or something? What do I substitute that with? Yeah. Whatever it is, I mean, the system has all that data because it's all online. I'm gonna talk about a couple different versions to go based off of. Can anybody else tell me something that they've used it for that was something other than on this list?
I use it for making lists.
Making
Like
lists.
a packing list.
Perfect. Yes.
Another agent in like Texas told me about that. They were going on a big family trip, and like they just talked to it for like the longest time, made a list, and then it for husband, wife, all the kids, where they were going, what they're doing, and like things that they needed to pack, and then ChatGPT would add things they might consider.
Yeah.
I have clients who are currently purchasing an investment home and it's already a rental, and they have this list of questions from the lease that they had texted me, and I hadn't had the time to sit down and break it down into like or an email for the agent or anything, so I put it into ChatGPT and I said, turn this into a professional sounding email with the questions as a list, and it was perfect, and obviously I proofread it, but
Right.
it's incredible.
Right. Yeah. Emails are so. It really helps put an intro paragraph and extra. I mean, it's so well formatted. Sometimes, like I put stuff in there before, and I'm like, way too nice, make meaner, like something like that, or way too mean, make nicer, or something like that, and it changes the whole tone. Again, it's truth and tone, so you want to make sure the tone matches what you're trying to come across. But
I
good.
recently, I'm doing an oyster roast committee for my neighborhood, and like we all know that like when you volunteer for things, you really need to have everything buttoned up so that they know your real estate business is buttoned up. And so I was in charge of leading the meeting and stuff, and so I literally just put in Gemini, create me an agenda for our first planning meeting of an oyster roast. And it literally spit out an agenda, like location, what do you need to think about with location, time, day, food and beverage, ticket costs, like it just spit it on an agenda, which was awesome.
Yeah.
And then also, we talked about putting bullets in there and then it generating like longer content, but sometimes I'll put longer content in there and be like, summarize this for me. I
Yeah.
don't have time to read this, like, show me, what is the summary of this article?
Yeah.
So
I
do it either way.
coach softball, and if you know anything about travel, softball, and baseball, there's like 1,000 different sanctions that you go play in, and every sanction that you go play in has different rules. I downloaded all of the rules and put it in ChatGPT, and I said, give me a graph that shows me each rule and what each sanction says, because then I can just look at it. It's like a quick cheat sheet. I don't have to go figure out how many minutes are pool play, how many minutes are bracket play. It's just so, it can really take a lot of information and summarize it very quickly. Good. What else?
I use it to sort of not sound lazy, but like map out my day in the sense of like it takes me 30 minutes to get to school, and then from there after school what I have next, like the driving time. So I'm able to map out my day in the sense of I want to get up and do this, have time to shower, eat breakfast, be at school.
Yeah.
That's called efficiency, not
Yeah.
laziness.
I really want to change. I really want everybody to understand, okay? What ChatGPT and AI does is it makes your life more efficient.
Yeah.
Okay? If we were all standing out back right now, and I said I need everybody to get to the front door, would any of you walk that direction all the way around? No, where would you do?
That's
No.
much-
I might.
You would come through this door and walk through it.
Yeah.
It's more efficient. Okay? There's things in life that you do because you just have to learn it, and that's okay too, right? Because if you're new and you want to like do it the hard way and learn it, and you need to read through the contracts, not get a summary of a contract, those are things that you need to do and get through it. And then there's things that you need to do in order to make your life efficient, and that's what AI is for. All right, so let's talk about tools, okay? Because there's a lot. There's like tons. And ChatGPT and Gemini are my two favorite. And I'll tell you a couple reasons why. I do pay for the upgraded ChatGPT. I think it's worth it. I think it has the most up-to-date information. It has a little bit more problem-solving ability than maybe the original free version. It's great for generating emails, public remarks, social media captions, creating photos. I don't love clip art. Zoe knows this. I have this like allergic reaction every time I see clip art on things. But if you need a photo, you don't have to pay for stock images anymore. You can go to ChatGPT or Gemini and say, give me a picture of a house on a hill in the middle of a rainstorm. And it will make a brand new picture that nobody else has used before of a house on a hill in a rainstorm. It's literally that easy.
Interesting.
We used to pay for stock images and stuff all the time. I mean, like tons of money for stock images to use on marketing. Again, blog stuff. Tip, use it for brainstorming and creating content, but always proofread. Always proofread. Downfall, again, the free version of ChatGPT especially is out of date. Okay, so you need to make sure you know the update dates and make sure you know when the information is coming in. Gemini is Google's version, so it used to be called Bard, and a year ago, maybe less than that, they changed it to now it's called Gemini, and it is much more up to date because it uses Google's data. Okay, so anything in Google that's in the system, it will pull together, which is really nice. I feel like it has a really good array of if you want to do research, this is a great place to go. It's great for fact checking, and it does have the most up-to-date information. It's better for multimedia content. Like if you want to go find a picture and stuff like that, I would go there probably versus ChatGPT. Anybody else use those two systems and find that one is better than the other?
Sometimes I use both.
Sometimes I use both too.
And then see what I like better.
Yeah, and you know, I love ChatGPT, but some of the times it's locked up. Like you'll go in there and it's like the wheel's spinning, and you know probably there's 1,000 people on it and it's just overwhelmed. So you may have to go to the other one just to use that, because I feel like I don't know that I've ever been on Gemini and it's been bogged down. Yes.
Oh, I forgot. This is back to the ideas of like something I've used it for. But my dad, he likes to write like short stories sometimes, and like last year he wrote like a short story about like the night before Thanksgiving, and me and my sister made a photo book, and we typed out kind of like our family and our like descriptions, like what I look like, what my sister looks like, what my dad looks like, and like make Pixar images of our family. So like acting out these scenes from the book. So like let's say you have a client that's really into Disney, like you can get AI to create a Pixar version of their family, and like or if they're like into a certain cartoon or whatever it is, like you can type in their features, like tall man, dark hair, glasses, big nose with you know, and just like it creates like a whole picture for them. But like that's just something that was like really neat because it's like your own Pixar little like short. So
Yeah,
it's cool.
absolutely. We do client stories when we close. When our clients close, we kind of write a little story about their experience and why they moved and how the experience went. And I use it all the time on AI. I'm like, let me tell you about these people, and you make a little short story out of it. I mean, it's sometimes I'm like, whoa, that is actually not true. Let me delete that, because it'll embellish a little bit. So you need to go back through and edit it, obviously, but it's creativity, especially in Gemini, is really, really good. All right, we have two systems for valuing properties that are free to us. And this is AI. This is the computer doing work for you so that it can verify your value. Should you use these systems alone? Absolutely not. You should have your own system to do a CMA, but RPR, which is the National Association of Realtors, Property Resource, and Remine, which is Rain's version of that, are both available, and both have a AV system, which means it can tell you, hey, based on the information we have, here's where I think this property market value is. And what Kristen and I use that for isn't to make it, but it certainly is to check our value. Because we have a spreadsheet, and we go in there, we pop all of our numbers in, and then we're like, man, are we anywhere close? You know, especially right now with pricing properties, it's very difficult. So then we'll go to these systems and say, okay, yeah, it sounds like we're right within the range. Copy AI is one that I found that is a super robust system. I've never used it, but it's a full service all the way around. It's everything from marketing to lead generation to copy, you know, that you're gonna put on your social media, email drafts, listing descriptions. It's really a full service. It integrates with your sales system, like if you use Salesforce or Top Producer or anything like that. So that's something that you can use if you want the whole gamut. And then 11 Labs we talked about earlier, which is the voice. One of the other cool things that it does is it can change your voice. So like, if you hate your voice, it can make it deeper or higher or something like that. You can actually edit it. It's really, really cool. And then audio changes, it will go in and like take out background noise and things like that, which is also neat. Grammarly is probably the OG of AI tools. Like Grammarly, I think, has been around for a pretty long time compared to most of these systems, and it's a really easy way to help turn emails into polished things. It is free, and it's a pretty good system. It's used by a ton of people. Marketing copy for clarity and professionalism. Use it to ensure AI-generated content is grammatically correct and on brand. So sometimes you'll see things come from ChatGPT, and you're like, that is not like correct grammatically. You can pop it into Grammarly and it'll fix all that. Put periods where they're supposed to go, commas where they're supposed to go, all that kind of stuff. Canva is obviously something Zoe and I and really the whole team here loves. It's a great system, and there are so many AI opportunities within that system. It has a writing assistant, visual, things you can make, things you can change colors, you can edit pictures, I mean tons of stuff. You can use it for flyers, social media graphics, listing with creative text ideas. So, and they are constantly adding new stuff to that system. So if you're trying to make some sort of presentation for your clients, if you make one slide, like let's just say I make this slide, on this system, AI will generate 20 other slides that have this same brand and idea. So you don't have to figure out how to keep making new slides and make it look different or anything like that. Super easy. All right, so we're gonna do a little workshop. I want you to tell me something that's on your to-do list today, and I'm gonna show you how to use AI to make it easier. So somebody spit something out at me.
Map out pumpkin pot pies for all my clients.
Yeah, because you know it sucks as math classes.
Girl, before we had GPS.
That's
we
all
had-
I want to hear it.
You know what sucks is having to print it out and start over every time you have a different house.
Yeah, but it like,
It
I'll
does.
put one in and then it'll just stop working.
Yeah.
And then it all disappears after everything and then I have to do it again.
Why don't you just map
Cause I'm giving it to somebody else. I'm not the one who's doing it.
Right, but you can put all the stops in and it'll tell you like.
It doesn't do it on Apple. It doesn't put them in, no, it doesn't put them in order. It just puts them in there. So then it's like, go all the way over here.
But then you can
come all
adjust.
the
What
way
site are you on, Shannon?
This is ChatGPT.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's alright.
We used to have to go to AAA and they had to give us this thing called a trip ticket.
Yeah. Wow, talk about aging us, Jesus.
You kids don't know how we got around here.
I literally texted.
All right, give me some addresses.
But mine's 608.
What is it, 608?
And that's something you can probably just copy and paste if you have.
Yeah, if
those.
you have it, you can just copy and paste it.
204 Shackleford
Old
Road.
Dominion, sorry, Drive Road.
608 Drive.
That's right.
24 South Terrace Drive.
24 South Terrace Drive.
You can do 302 Apollo Drive, Hampton.
Yours is horrible.
Yeah, I'm a horrible speller.
That's another thing.
Hence why I use ChatGPT.
Autocorrect for you too. Like it'll be like, oh, you
Yeah.
probably meant this.
Hampton. All right,
Yeah,
I'll
that's
just use
fine, leave
this.
it and see what it does. Yours.
Here's the optimal route based on, can you guys see that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So put it in order of where you need to go. So copy and paste all your addresses in there, and it'll tell you exactly which order. Okay?
Yeah, I'm gonna do that now from now on.
Okay.
What
What else?
Dude, tell it that you need a Popeye tag.
Watch, hold on, watch this. Say, whoops, or just say, I forgot one. Redo it with, give me another address.
112 State Park Drive.
State Park,
Yeah.
Hampton. Revised route. Then you're like, oh crap, I don't need to go to another property. You say, okay, take out Cedar Road, it will redo it. I mean, you can literally keep telling it.
And the cool thing is it saves all your searches on the left side. So you like literally like if you did map out the houses and then a day later they took off one, so they love to do that.
I'm gonna say, I'm dropping off the Popeyes to clients for the fall at these addresses. What are some starter conversations to make this casual, to make this easier? Hi, just dropping by a little fall cheer your way. How's everything going with your home this season?
And you didn't even tell it that it was for real estate because it knows that you're a real estate agent? Is that why?
I remember you mentioned you enjoy blank. Any fall plans lined up?
I think if you put Popeye in there, they literally know you're real estate.
I can't believe the holidays are around the corner. Do you have any special plans this year? I mean, you don't have to be social to have these things kind of like ingrained in your head of what you need to say, right? These are starters. These starters are easy, open-ended, and encourage clients to share updates and talk about their home without making it feel forced.
Watch this. Say, make me a checklist for my client that just had a house fire.
I might need to do that in a new one, but. Just like immediately, but.
So much.
I mean, literally, like,
So then you figure out which one of these you can play a role in doing.
and you can say,
Make
my
this shorter.
client doesn't know who to call for a restoration company. Who's the best in Hampton Roads, Virginia? This may be better in Gemini. This is one of those things like Google might give you better options. Hall Restoration, United Restoration. So, I mean, there's 5 different options right there. All right, somebody else give me something for on their to-do list today.
Make ice cream.
You're good, go ahead.
I have to make an introductory graphic to like my neighbors, or like a message letting them know what I'm doing.
Okay.
The other day.
It's gonna be like, you didn't just get your license, you've asked me 1,000 questions.
Rejected.
Named John, just
Yeah.
got his real estate license and wants to introduce himself to his neighborhood in a formal letter. What neighborhood?
I'm not sure. I mean, we live in 39 Roberts Trace. I'm not even sure. If it's
Okay. Is called, I'm just gonna say Roberts Chase, so you can see what it can do. And I'm just gonna say Newport News, I don't know where it is, but. He is, give me 3 adjectives that you would describe yourself as.
Let's go professional, consistent, and mindful.
Oh, I forgot to put your last name.
We called you John Smith.
Yeah. I'm a resident of Roberts Chase. I understand the unique qualities that make this neighborhood such a wonderful place to live, whether you're considering buying, selling, or just simply curious about the current market trends. I'm here to assist you in every step of the way. My goal is to be a reliable resource for all your real estate needs, ensuring that you feel confident and informed throughout the process.
That's really cool.
Say, make this more, include more trendy, fun language. Maybe you're like in a city, in a condo complex, and it's all young professionals around you. It says, I know firsthand how special this neighborhood is. Like, it's just different verbiage, right? It's just a little bit different tone. It says the word awesome in it. I guess that's more trendy. I don't know. Looking forward to connecting soon and being part of this awesome community. Again, it's just a little bit more of a different tone. Change the tone to more, change the tone for more of a luxury neighborhood.
Elegant.
Definitely say word.
Dear esteemed neighbors of Robert Chase, I hope this message finds you well. I am truly delighted to introduce myself as both your new neighbor and your local real estate agent at RE/MAX. It said RE/MAX Connect. I didn't even tell it that. Having earned my real estate license, I'm honored to represent a community as distinguished as Robert Chase. It does it for you. Like, it's crazy. Okay? All right, somebody give me something else.
Any math,
Huh?
any percentages.
Oh, give me some sort of math.
What's 3% of $145,650?
Split 60-40 with a 95-5 split.
This is a lot of money.
But for like our owners,
What is
but for
that?
like our owners, I can say, like, we received this much in rent and spent this much on heating and air, this much on, appliances, this much on, break it down, say, what is the percentage spent on this? And it'll spit every percentage
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Just say how many acres do I need for a 50,000 square foot building? With 100 parking spaces.
50,000 square foot.
Mm-hmm.
With how many?
With 100 parking spaces.
And it's absurd.
And
It's absolutely absurd. I mean, it couldn't make our lives easier. Yes, Liv.
Oh, I don't know if it'll do this or not, but
Let's try it.
let's say, okay, like I know I want to buy some groceries tonight. Like I need some raspberries, some avocados, some toast. Type in where's the best and cheapest place to get those things.
I'm just signing under you.
Like I've never used it for that before, but like I always think about, I'm like, where should I go to get these certain groceries versus?
Okay, so I was gonna try to kick over to Gemini just to show you a different platform, but I'm not on my computer, so I can't sign in. But we'll do that here. So, okay, so tell me what you need.
Raspberries, avocados, eggs, and toast.
How do you spell raspberries?
Raspberries.
Raspberries.
There we go.
Okay.
Avocado.
it's like all
Give
the
me-
hard spelling.
She needs eggs. Eggs and bread. Eggs and bread.
Ah!
I don't know. Sorry.
Avocado.
Toast.
Avocado toast. Oh wait,
Or bread.
bread.
Eggs.
It's not toast, so you get it lovely.
And that's fine. Just like where is the best and most cost efficient place to buy it in our area. For the best price. And always like, should I go to Kroger, Lidl, Aldi?
We'll never harass you here.
I wonder if you have your location services on your
Yeah, if you could just say
computer,
near me.
if you don't need to say your location.
Look at that.
That's crazy.
I will say, all did for like 2 hours, and he got an entire meal plan for a whole month and a workout.
Yeah.
He put it his goals for
I think that's
month,
what's
and
last
then
on the list,
and he said, take out this, I don't like this type of food, I do like this type of food, and
what is paleo?
PALEO. You can also put in, I can't eat gluten, where can I eat at Disney World? Or I can't, and it gives you a whole week of where you can eat and what you can stop. Or like what Starbucks drinks actually have gluten in them, and they'll tell you.
Really?
Look at that.
I have a question.
Yes.
Does anybody in here have the new iPhone 16 with Apple Intelligence?
I think I do.
Do you like it?
I
Have you
haven't used,
experienced anything with it?
I haven't tried to use it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, this is crazy, y'all. You used to have to pay for dietitians
Right.
to tell you this stuff.
Right.
Like, there's really no excuses.
Like workouts too.
Yeah, workouts,
yeah.
anything.
Well, I just entered like I had like a weekly
Will
workout.
ChatGPT come get me out of bed?
I know.
You just say like make it better and it'll add stuff and take stuff off.
All right, let's go back to.
I'm interested about the intelligence thing.
Yeah,
I
me
want to get
too.
a 16.
The Apple Intelligence?
Yeah.
It sounds really cool.
All right, anything else that people want to know? Is there any other? Oh, we forgot yours. Okay.
So if you want, I didn't know if it was a separate section.
This is okay. This is a great usable thing for real estate, right?
So if you want to do like a pick route.
I'm writing a contract for a buyer. I want to ask the seller to have a licensed roofer replace the roof,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Write me a clause to put in the contract.
Oh, wow.
You can just take an estimate.
Yeah, I mean it's not meant to copy and paste. It's meant to get verbiage and words, 3 or 4 words together that you can use that make sense to you. There is literally no excuse for knowledge and information anymore. It is at your fingertips. And there's no excuse to wait on somebody else to give it to you. Go find it, go research, figure out how you can use the systems and tools that are at your disposal. I mean, she jokes about 2004, but when we started, there was nothing. There was no social media. There was, right before I started, there wasn't even an MLS. Like, people had to go get a book. A book every week came out with all the houses that were for sale. And you had, when you wanted to show a property, you had to go pick up a key. From the listing agent, from somebody's office. So if you had 7 properties to show, guess what? You had to go pick up 7 keys
I forgot, remember the HUD key?
to take them with you
Oh my God.
and then bring them back after showings.
And
To
then-
HUD properties. There was
There
one
was
key.
one key to all
Every
HUD properties.
brokerage had one key to any HUD property. And you have to go to your broker and say, I'm looking at a HUD property this weekend. Can I check out the key?
And the
That was
carbon
even when I started. That was
Yeah.
a 9 that
Yeah.
saw the HUD key.
What?
The carbon copy contract.
You don't even.
That
Some
you
are 3 copies.
put in an envelope
Yes.
and would hand deliver.
Do you know what my job was? I would have to come to the office at 5 o'clock in the morning so I wouldn't have to tie up the printer and print on the carbon copy because it was so expensive that we couldn't leave it in the printer. The agents would accidentally use it and it would cost us a bunch of money. And then I'd have to replace, and we had a wall of bins that we had to replace, and if one thing changed on a document, I had to throw it all away and
Yeah.
start over.
I did too,
It
yeah.
was a
Yeah,
nightmare.
that's the thing with that. Like everything that's in transaction desk, we had a wall with
Yes.
every single document.
It's like our
we needed.
mailboxes outside.
Yeah.
It was like purchase agreement and like a stack of purchase agreements, which was like 6 pages, by the way. Deed disclosure, you know, all the things. And so like, we are so much more efficient now, but there's still room for it, right? Like you can still automate without turning yourself into a machine. Okay, so use the system, use the tools. And get back to our presentation. Final thoughts. AI is not a tool. It's a tool, not a replacement. AI should enhance your work, but you must provide oversight. Always review AI-generated content for compliance and ethical standards, always. Monitor bias, regularly audit AI tools to ensure they're not making discriminatory recommendations or using biased language. Continuously educate yourself, stay up to date on tools and technology. So again, we use a lot of systems in our team, in our office, but a system does not replace your brain. Okay, you still have to use your brain to make sure the system's working properly. And that's it.
Love it.
So So thank you. I hope that you guys will use it. And I hope that you guys will come back and tell us different ways that you have been using it, or maybe just put it in the WhatsApp, and so everybody can kind of learn and figure out new things. Kristen, if you can find that poem, share it in the WhatsApp. It is so freaking cool.